Want to start off with this California fire because I, for one, have pretty bad allergies, and I wanted to play golf over the weekend. I couldn't do it because the air quality was so bad. If you walked outside over the weekend, you noticed there was a gaze of, I guess you could say, smoke from California. That's really what it is. That was over the valley here. And it sucks because, number one, you're not going to be able to get any sun. If you want to be out by the pool or something, you're not going to see the sun. That's number one. And number two, the breathing quality, the air quality here was terrible. Absolutely, positively awful. So I'm thinking to myself, geez, what started this thing, right? Was it accidental? Was it on purpose? What idiots started this thing? Well, it turns out that this California wildfire was sparked by a device to reveal a baby's gender. That's right. Couples' plan to reveal this baby's gender went up not in the blue or pink smoke, but in flames, so to speak, when this device they used sparked a wildfire that burned thousands of acres and forced people to flee from a city just east of Los Angeles. Now, the fire prompted evacuations in parts of another city that held around 54,000 people and the surrounding area. Water-dropping helicopters were brought in. It grew to 11.5 square miles and then just got bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, the unidentified couple chose their location, as I mentioned earlier, to reveal their baby's gender. They were accompanied by their young children, and they had a friend or relative videoing it on a cell phone. The family went into a field and fired off the device, which quickly ignited, and conditions were perfect for a fire to spread quickly, sadly. Triple-digit temperatures, low humidity, dry vegetation, and a stiff breeze. Those are the worst conditions for this thing to get started. Or I should say best conditions, whichever way you look at it. The surveillance video showed the couple frantically racing to their vehicle to retrieve water bottles to try to extinguish the flames. It didn't work, and they called 911. At least they did that. The couple could be liable, of course, for the cost of fighting the fire and criminally charged with misdemeanor or felony counts. So here's my feeling on this. They obviously made a mistake. It wasn't intentional. For that reason and that reason alone, I don't think they should go to jail, especially with the way they reacted. Video surveillance shows they tried to put out the fire, and then they called 911. They did everything right after the fire was ignited. However, with that being said, it is not fair that we should have to put our taxpayer dollars, or those in California, whichever way you look at it, towards idiots that start fires. With that being said, I don't think this family should have to file for bankruptcy, and I don't think they should be having to pay this debt for the rest of their lives. However, I do think for the rest of their lives, they should have to make some sort of significant monthly payment, especially if they're financially well off. Now, whether that's $1,000 a month or $500 a month, every month for the rest of their lives, they should have to pay something towards the state of California for what they did, because people are suffering for it. Even right here in Las Vegas, even right here in the state of Nevada, where people are suffering to breathe, especially if you have allergies like myself. The air quality is terrible. Don't be irresponsible. That's how these fires started. In many of these fires, not all of them, but in many of these fires that started, they are started accidentally because people are irresponsible. It's not like someone, lit a palm tree. This should have never happened. It was easily avoidable. Stop using things in the wildlife out there. Stop using things that could start fires, period. And if don't smoke. That might be hard for some people. When you're out there on a trail or something, don't smoke. You can go an hour or so without smoking a cigarette. That's how these things started. And the air quality is atrocious. I don't know what's going on with the weather in Las Vegas now. It's like a tsunami out there. It's very windy. The air quality is terrible. But again, how many times does this stuff have to happen? It always seems to happen in California. It just happened a few weeks ago. There was another fire. How many times does this have to happen before idiots and dopes finally realize, hey, maybe I shouldn't, if I'm having a gender reveal party, maybe I shouldn't use some sort of device that can start a fire. It's not worth it. Now this family is probably going to have to pay retribution for years. But no, I don't think they deserve to go to jail. If somebody did it intentionally, absolutely. That is a felony. But this was completely accidental. And let this be a lesson to anybody out there. I don't care if you live in Las Vegas. I don't care if you live in California. I don't care if you live in Afghanistan in a cave, okay? Don't use things that could cause a fire to start up, period. It's not worth it. Now look at what is going to happen to this family. I do hope They don't go to jail. They could be criminally charged with some misdemeanors. There's not going to be no jail time there, but this family is going to be ridiculed. It's a sad situation. I know they didn't do it on purpose based on the video. But again, people need to be responsible. If you're going to go out in a park, wherever you are, be careful, be responsible, because